In the dense heart of the African jungle, where the air was thick with the scent of damp earth and the calls of exotic birds filled the trees, lived a powerful gorilla named Koba. His body was massive, his muscles hardened by years of climbing, protecting, and surviving in the wild. His thick black fur shimmered faintly when sunlight pierced through the canopy, and his deep amber eyes carried wisdom and strength. He was the leader of his troop, a family of gorillas who depended on him for guidance, protection, and love. Among them were his mate and two young children, who filled his days with both joy and responsibility. Life in the jungle was beautiful but far from easy. The gorillas moved daily in search of ripe fruits, leaves, and clean water. The mornings often began with the troop grooming one another, strengthening the bonds that held them together. The little ones loved to play, rolling in the grass and climbing low branches, while the adults kept watch. Koba, though stern in appearance, was gentle with his children. He would let them climb on his broad back, dragging on his fur and tugging at his ears, and he would respond with soft grunts of affection. For them, he was both a father and a fortress. But dangers were never far away. The jungle was a place of constant threats. Snakes slithered quietly in the undergrowth, crocodiles lurked silently in the rivers, and predators like leopards waited patiently for the right moment to strike. Even other gorillas from rival troops could appear, challenging Koba's authority, hoping to take his place and scatter his family. Koba knew that every day in the wild was a test, and he had to remain strong not only for himself, but for the safety of his loved ones. One afternoon, the troop settled near a riverbank, where the air was cooler, and the trees were heavy with fruit. The young gorillas played happily, tossing leaves into the water and chasing one another in circles, their laughter-like calls echoing through the forest. The adults chewed slowly on the sweet fruit, keeping a casual eye on the little ones. Koba sat nearby, calm but ever alert. His instincts were sharp, and his ears twitched at every sound in the distance. It was then that he noticed a faint rustling beyond the bushes. His nostrils flared as he caught the scent of a predator. Slowly, emerging from the shadows, came a leopard, its golden eyes gleaming and its body crouched low to the ground. The predator's gaze was fixed on the children, who were still too busy playing to notice the danger creeping closer. The leopard moved silently, each step calculated, ready to spring upon its prey. Koba's chest tightened, but his resolve was immediate. He could not allow harm to come to his family. Rising to his full height, he let out a thunderous roar that shook the air, a warning that echoed across the forest. His massive hands pounded against his chest, creating a sound so powerful it startled birds from the treetops. The leopard paused, but did not retreat. Hunger burned in its eyes, and it crept closer still. With a surge of energy, Koba charged forward, the ground trembling beneath his weight. The leopard leaped at him, claws extended and teeth bared. The two collided in a fierce clash, muscle against muscle, speed against raw strength. Koba grabbed at the predator, pushing it away with a force that sent dust rising from the forest floor. The leopard twisted, slashing with its claws, leaving shallow cuts on Koba's arm, but the gorilla did not falter. His rage was fueled by the thought of his children, who stood frozen behind him, watching in fear. The fight raged on. The leopard lunged again, trying to reach the smaller gorillas, but Koba blocked its path each time. He struck the ground with such force that the vibrations startled the predator, then swung his massive arms to knock the leopard aside. His roars were deafening, each one a declaration that this family was under his protection. The leopard, though fast and cunning, began to falter under the relentless power of the gorilla. Finally, after one last desperate attack, it realized this fight could not be won. With a low growl of frustration, it slinked back into the shadows of the forest, disappearing into the undergrowth. Breathing heavily, his chest rising and falling like a storm, Koba turned to check on his family. His children clung to their mother, their small hands trembling, their eyes wide with fear but also filled with awe. Slowly, the little ones approached their father, wrapping their tiny arms around him. Koba lowered his massive frame to the ground, gently placing a hand on their backs, comforting them with soft grunts. His strength had saved them, but it was his love that reassured them they were safe once more. As the sun began to set and the forest turned golden with fading light, the troop moved to a safer place deeper in the jungle. The younger gorillas still whispered in their own way about the fight they had witnessed, their father's bravery forever etched in their minds. Koba walked behind them, his eyes scanning the surroundings, always vigilant, always ready. That night, under a sky filled with countless stars, the jungle grew quieter. The family nestled together, the little ones tucked against their father's chest. Koba stayed awake for a long time, listening to the distant sounds of the forest. His body ached from the fight, but his heart was steady. Protecting his family was not just his duty, it was his purpose, the very meaning of his life. In the days that followed, the story of the battle seemed to spread even among the jungle creatures. Other animals moved cautiously when Koba's troop passed by, as if they too respected the might of the gorilla who had faced a leopard and prevailed. But for Koba, the fight was not about pride or power. It was about love. His children were his world, and every roar, every strike, and every scar was a testament to the lengths he would go to ensure they survived. As seasons changed and the jungle shifted with rains and sunshine, Koba continued to lead his family. He taught his children how to find food, how to climb safely, and how to recognize danger. He showed them the importance of unity, of staying close, of looking after one another. And though they grew stronger with each passing day, they never forgot the moment when their father stood like a mountain against the fury of a predator. The jungle remained wild, and new challenges would always come. But as long as Koba lived, his family would know the safety of his presence. In the rhythm of the forest, in the rustling of the leaves and the calls of distant animals, the story of the brave gorilla father became part of the jungle's endless song. This version is about